I mean, I think there's a default setting for humans.
Yeah.
Like, we should acknowledge that. It's not just every time there's a baby, ooh, who knows what the fuck it is. That's crazy. But
Bill Maher had a couple of people on this panel, including Douglas Murray, who's been in the news a lot recently. And something that Douglas Murray said, and that sparked some conversation on this panel, really set off Bill Maher here into a very, very right-wing type of rant, going after the woke cult, as Bill Maher has been doing a ton recently. Let's get into this clip where Bill Maher snaps and goes off on the woke cult, absolutely shredding them after Douglas Murray made a certain comment.
YouTubers, he is a best-selling author whose new book is called On Democracies and Death Cults. Douglas Murray to my left. To my right, an editor-at-large of Reason
That's why Douglas Murray is making the appearances everywhere. He has another book to sell.
Magazine and co-host of the Fifth Column podcast, Matt Welch, and she is a Democratic senator from Minnesota. Tina Smith. Okay. Here are the questions from the actual people. For Douglas, what is your reaction to the UK Supreme Court declaring that the definition of a woman is, well, we should include you in this too. It's about women, is based on biological sex and excludes transgender people. Yeah, this was a big ruling this week in England. The Supreme Court, their definition of woman is biological sex. To put it in shorthand, J.K. Rowling won.
Yes. J.K. Rowling won.
Common sense won. You know, common sense. It's just common sense, man. Like, we need some sort of definition. There needs to be some kind of definition, right? Like that. We need to be able to establish some kind of baseline reality. It has to happen. Somebody has to do it. I'm finally glad that somebody did it for once.
Everyone who said this for years has won. All the particularly women who've been defamed and lied about and bullied and chased and much more for years, they were right. And I just think, apart from being a statement of the obvious, isn't it amazing that the best legal minds in Britain spent years having to work out the first thing we knew as a species?
But just to be clear, we're not saying there's not such a thing as trans, right? We're not saying there's not such a thing as someone who is, quote unquote, born in the wrong body.
I don't think people get born in the wrong body now.
Oh, I do.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a default setting for humans.
Yeah.
Like, we should acknowledge that. It's not just every time there's a baby, ooh, who knows what the fuck it is. That's crazy. But there are...
Beyond me, yeah.
But there are variations.
There are variations.
Homosexuality.
That's right. It's a continuum.
And then, you know, but it's how we handle that.
That's
you know?
right.
I mean, and I think we would agree that, you know, children, and this is where America is now an outlier country. We're the only country that went full, and I guess Trump is reversing it, but certainly under Biden, who went fully toward that. Like, we don't care what age, kids can self-diagnose themselves. I mean, that to me was going way too far on this. Again, nobody just comes back to the sensible center.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the sensible center is that, like, you respect people, you trust parents, you let parents figure out what to do with their kids, and you don't need a bunch of politicians in Washington making decisions about
That is not the Democrat.
No, what are we talking about right now, man? What the hell are we talking about right now? Just trust parents to do whatever they want with kids. So, the day that you become a parent, are you just incapable of evil? Do you just become incapable of doing anything wrong to your kids? Because I think there's a whole lot of things, a whole lot of reasons why child protective services exist. That's so crazy, man. It's just like you can just tell these people have no morals and no principles. They just say things that they know their side is supposed to say because that makes zero sense. Like, I don't get it. Let's see what Bill Maher has to say.
Democratic position, at least here in California.
Well, that's my position.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's where the Democratic Party should. That is not the position that we've had here in California, which is like, don't tell the parents what the kids are doing at school. That's a whole, and that you really alienate voters.
Yeah.
Parents are voters. When you're not a parent yet, you know, it's like, oh, voting, whatever, you know.
Sex is not a spectrum. I mean, it's male and female. There are some people with very unusual conditions who deserve absolute sympathy and support. But that does not mean that we're a hermaphroditic species. We're just not.
No, but
that's not it.
No, not the whole species. But this goes back, I mean, like, I mean, I don't want to use the term chicks with dicks, but I could. I mean, this goes back to like ancient Rome, and like there was always people who were like not quite one.
It's not hard to get to toleration and acceptance without rewriting biology.
Right. Right.
It's a norm. That's your normal sense.
Yeah. What is the legacy of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride, which was 250 years ago today? The fact that no under 40 knows what the fuck I'm talking about. That's the legacy of that.
Maybe 60.
Yeah, right.
Maybe 60.
Well, maybe the legacy is that we decided we didn't want a king, and oh, what the fuck? Here we have one.
Right. There you go. What is the panel think?
What? Oh my God. How do you sit next to someone? Like if you're Douglas Murray, I don't like Douglas Murray. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I know a lot of you love him so much. I don't like the guy, but at least he has some ounce of common sense. How do you sit here and listen to this bullshit? Like I just get so angry. I literally like my face starts to get hot when I hear something like that because it's just so stupid. Like I'll just be like, hold on, pause. Explain yourself. Explain how Donald Trump is a king because I know what she means by that. She thinks that he's a dictator. Explain that, please. Why is the side that weaponized the DOJ against their political opponents, why are they not a king or a dictator? Why is it Donald Trump instead? Please explain. And if you just put them on the spot like that, they crumble every single time. And I can't help myself. If I'm sitting next to somebody and they say some dumb stuff like that, and it gets me in trouble all the time in real life because I cannot let it slide. If I hear some dumb stuff, I'm calling it out. I'm going to say, hold on, explain yourself. Because they never can do it. They can never explain themselves.
Think of RFK Jr. announcing he will find the cause of autism by September of this year.
I think that's when OJ finds the real killer. I think it's...
Well, he's dead, so that's not going to happen. Well,
Is OJ dead? Honestly, I did not know that.
would say, this is why people think he's a quack, because you're not going to put a date on something they've been looking into for 30 years.
That's right.
And say, we're going to have it by September. It's not going to be, it's the gummy bears.
But that might be something. That might be something you say if you think you already know the answer to the question you're asking and you're going to deliver the answer in September,
he
right?
Did speak on what I read in the paper is he did speak on it this week. Mm-hmm. And I did not agree with the point of view of the article I was reading, which was that he's completely crazy because he was saying it's not mostly genetic, it's mostly environmental toxins. I happen to believe that's probably a more likely answer. And they were saying, well, no, genetics, and of course genetics is involved in everything health-wise. But to present the argument I saw framed in that way, that he's a kook because he thinks it's coming. I mean, environmental toxins is really the story of my lifetime. I'm glad I was born as old as I am at a time when everything wasn't completely polluted. I think that's why I'm still alive today. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And I mean,
but Bill, the air is less polluted, the water is less polluted. As countries get richer, they pollute less. When they're industrializing, they pollute more. There might be individual environmental toxins, yes, but as a broad description of the status of OECD countries, we are polluting on net less.
It depends on where you live, first of all.
Yeah.
That's right.
Out here in California, I believe I'm breathing in the fire still. The fire burned a lot of this city, and a lot of this city had plastic in their home. And we were already getting, they say, a credit card's worth of plastic in our body on a weekly basis. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would get the hell out of California, man. Pretty simple solution to that. Not even just for the air quality, but for everything.